Hello, and welcome to the Kathleen Spracklin podcast. I am a woman on a mission to gather a cadre of writers, thinkers, and teachers who are transforming the world, one character at a time. And it all starts with one thing, a deep understanding of human motivation, why people do what they do, and the forces that drive them. To gain that understanding, I am mining the intersection of psychology, theology, and philosophy to make you a better writer. This is episode 56, our goal for our reader, an emotional journey. This episode is a bit of a philosophical treatise. As I think forward about what is it that I hope to bring to you as a writer, to share what I have for you as a writer, my goal for you is to enable you to take your reader on an emotional journey. So that's kind of a double jump. So I'm going to discuss this more fluidly. I'm going to place myself in the same category as that we're together in the same category, that we share the same goal, which is to take our readers on an emotional journey. So that's really what the whole purpose of my research, my course, what I'm trying to study and advance on, is how do we go about taking the reader on the emotional journey. All of the materials that are out there acknowledge quite readily that it is the emotional journey that we want to have for our readers. But I'm not seeing too much the concept of how do you go about doing that. I'm seeing tools for our tool chest, but a hammer does not build a house. It might be a very, very important tool for constructing the house, but it is not everything. You can't construct a house without a blueprint. And a blueprint has to be more than we want the roof to stand up, and therefore we have to build walls to support it. It's totally true. No one would disagree with it, but it doesn't help you build to code. And it doesn't help you construct the roof. So this is where I'm trying to get down a little more to the depth, to the steps, to the actual how-to. How do you take your reader on an emotional journey? And that's why I explored the topic that I brought up yesterday, where I had a tale of a computer programmer who had a trivial bug in her code, but it created a mess out in the warehouse. And one of the things that tale did not contain was any description of how she was feeling. I left that up to my readers. And that's a large measure of where I am going with the material that I teach. Because you see, attempts to study emotion as a thing, as a direct thing, can at best catalog them. And that proves true whether it's the field of positive psychology or whether it's something as simple as the emotion thesaurus. You can catalog it, and maybe you can do some grouping. But you need a lot more than that to be able to construct your story. Just as the hammer isn't sufficient, neither is it sufficient to have a catalog of building supplies. You need to know how to put them together. And it is my discovery, the thing that I kind of want to share, and it came about by wanting to help writers who didn't have enough time to write, to bridge that gap between their writing sessions so that the emotions could remain consistent from one brief writing opportunity to the next, turned out to be a very, very powerful mechanism when taken to the next level and used to help construct an emotional journey. And enough of the talking around it, I need to get a little bit more specific. And that is that it is not so much the emotion that will take the reader on an emotional journey. It's the struggle. It's the struggle. Every one of the common struggles, when we've explored 28 of them, of the struggles that are common to man, carry with them a triad of emotion. There's 3 different voices of emotion: the voice of the struggle, the voice of the victory, and the voice of the loss. None of those names per se names an emotion, because we deal with situations differently. Say, for example, that you had expected to be a backstage facilitator of a major speaking event. You never had any expectation of holding the microphone in your hand. But suddenly you get word that the speaker is seriously delayed. Good 30 minutes late. And it is falling to you to take the microphone and stand up in front of 300 people gathered and tell them that the speaker that they've paid money to hear is going to be 30 minutes late. Each person is going to bring with them a different constellation of emotions. The question then becomes, for us as writers, do we want to dictate to our readers what emotions they shall have? Or do we want them to be able to have their own emotions in response to our story? And there is value in both. The human brain has an enormous number of mirror neurons. They are the mechanism by which we can contain empathy with others, and it's the means by which we can relate and feel what others are feeling. So therefore, if we do a quality job of conveying to our readers what our main characters are feeling and the emotions that our main characters are going through, yes, by virtue of those mirror neurons, our reader has the potential of catching on to what those emotions were and actually experiencing them themselves. But it will always be a paler form of experience than if we permit the reader to carry on his own journey, his own feelings of emotion. We'll set up the pattern, we'll set up the journey, we'll set up the transformation that our main character goes through. But if we do our job successfully, we can trust our reader to form their own emotions. And when our reader responds with their own emotions, that gives the most powerful form of a journey. And this has an amazing corollary because, and I can cite several books, but I'm not going to go deeply into it tonight, but many times authors, psychologists, and writers have gone to catalog emotions and they're squirrely. They escape from you. The best you can do is name them, but then where do they all come from? I could go through examples, but I'm trying to keep it under 10 minutes, so I only have a few more, half a minute. So we won't explore that level right now. But the struggles can be explored logically. Struggles can be studied. Struggles can be mapped. Not so with emotions. And I hope to continue to make sense of where I'm going with this and share this journey with you, because I think it has a lot of power and potential, and I'm very eager to share it. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.